What is resistance? Resistance is the kind of energy that acts like a repelling force. It is negative in nature and it prevents us from doing meaningful work. Now, resistance stops us from engaging in anything productive, such as creative pursuits like writing, painting, music, or any form of artistic expression. Business endeavors, whether for profit or otherwise, resistance it discourages us from taking action. In health and fitness, it prevents us from following a diet, going to the gym, or building a strong, fit body. For spiritual growth, it stops us from performing prayers or any practices that nurtures our spiritual well-being. Breaking bad habit, it prevents us from overcoming smoking or alcoholism or addictions or other destructive behaviors. Education and learning, it stops us from reading books, acquiring training or pursuing knowledge. Resistance stops us from taking action that contribute positively to others' life. In relationships, it stops us from improving our marriages, family bonds, and relationships. Resistance stops us from standing by principles and values and doing what we know is right. It keeps us from acting on our higher nature, prevents us from making meaningful progress in any way. If you are religious, then this negative force is called Satan in Christianity and Islam and Asuras in Hinduism. In fact, there are prayers in all major religions against this evil force. In Islam, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught this dua for seeking protection from shaitan, that is the Satan. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. O Lord, I seek refuge in you from the accursed Satan, from his whisperings, from his arrogance and his evil influence. In Christianity, there is a prayer of Saint Michael, the archangel in Catholic tradition. Saint Michael, the archangel, defend us in battle, be our protection against the wickedness and snares of devil. In Hinduism, there is a prayer against demonic influence called Hanuman Chalisiya. Bhoot pichach nikat nahi aave, Mahavir jab naam sunave. No ghost or demon come near when the name of the Lord is heard. Now, this Satan is a relentless opponent. Its sole mission is to stop us. It exists to prevent us from doing our work and realizing our full potential. We often think we are the only ones struggling with this Satan, but the truth is everyone who has a body and a mind experiences it. Satan is universal and it does not weaken with age. No matter how experienced or accomplished we become, the battle against Satan must be fought every single day until the day we die. Now, resistance or Satan's goal is not just to stop us from taking action. It seeks to kill our being, our soul, and rob us from the true purpose in this life and to steal the precious gift we have to offer to this world. It stands between us and our greatest contribution to ourselves, others, and the earth. Now, resistance takes many forms. One often disguising itself in a seemingly harmless way, but it prevents us from doing meaningful work. Like one form is procrastination, I'll start tomorrow, or instant gratification like Instagram, drugs, sex, porn, Netflix, TV, sugar, and other distractions. In drama and conflict, creating unnecessary drama in our lives, especially with our family or relationships, it's another cruel form of resistance. It consumes our energy. It keeps us emotionally entangled and distracted from any meaningful work. Now, asking yourself, am I good enough over and over again is also a form of resistance at work. Now, resistance manifests inside us. It makes us feel trapped and, restless, miserable, urge to stay in the bed, go into depression, aggression, crime, self-harm, feel unloved or unlovable, disgusted and hating our lives. Advertisers exploit this resistance-induced misery, convincing us to buy, more products to make us feel better. Now, resistance thrives on fear. And while fear itself isn't bad, it should be a signal to move forward, not a reason to hold back. Now, if you feel deep resistance towards any art project, any business idea, or any creative pursuit, it's a sign that it truly matters to you. And Satan loves fear because fear paralyzes us. It keeps us from doing our work. But Satan is clever. It doesn't show fear in its purest form, because if we could see fear, then we might feel shame, for letting fear control us, and that might push us forward. So resistance disguises itself through rationalization, and rationalization is Satan's most dangerous weapon. It hides the fear and presents us in with something logical, seemingly valid reasons, like now it's not the right time, you have too many responsibilities, this project isn't worth the effort, I'll start when things calm down, I'll start when the market is right. But resistance is still a lie. The problem is that life will never stop throwing obstacles. Satan wants us to believe that we must wait for that perfect moment, but that moment will never come. And there is no perfect moment, for example, for giving birth. Women give birth every day, an act that seems impossible until you remember that it has been happening for more than 50 million years with and without support. Now, how do we turn the table on resistance? It's by turning professional. The one thing to study war and another thing to live a warrior's life. And resistance hate a professional mindset. Just like Louis Armour said, I write only when inspiration strikes. Fortunately, it strikes every morning at 9 o'clock sharp. A professional doesn't wait for inspiration. He sits down and does the work, no matter how he feels. The moment we feel resistance creeping in, we must act immediately. Say your favorite prayer, recite Auz Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim. Sit down and do your work and push through. The battle against resistance is lifelong, but every time we take action, we weaken its grip and we strengthen our true self. To be a true artist, professional, business owner, creative, we must fight back. We must unplug from the consumer culture, from the mindless TV, Netflix, ads, from corporate programming. We must reject the grind that keeps us stuck in the cycle of dissatisfaction. And the only way to cure our relentless restlessness is by doing work. For better understanding, imagine yourself as a hunter, where the hunt is the metaphor of a professional life. Imagine you get up, it's still dark, the sun isn't up, it's cold, your ankles itch, your back hurts, the branches snap at your face, the hill is son of a bitch. But you keep going, step after step, the blood starts flowing, the pain fades, you keep pushing forward, you take a turn, and there it is, the fat hair. You take a shot, you have earned your keep, at least for the day. That night, you joke with your kids by the fire, your wife is happy, cooking the meal you bought home. Resistance, it's not even a thought. But as you lay down for sleep, you know, it is waiting for you tomorrow, and you will be ready. And how will you be ready? By learning to be miserable, like a Marine. The Marine Corps teaches its recruit one essential skill, how to be miserable and to love it. Marines take pride in enduring the worst condition. Colder weather, crappier equipment, higher casualty rates, none of it breaks them. A business owner and artist must be like a Marine, someone who is fully committed to their craft, has volunteered for hell, whether they realize it or not. For the duration of the journey, they will survive on a diet of isolation, rejection, self-doubt, despair, ridicule, contempt, humiliation, and yet they must love it. A professional must be like a Marine. He must take pride in his suffering. He must embrace the struggle harder than any other artist, writer, or entrepreneur. Because this isn't just work. It's war, baby, and war is hell. And you're not alone in this fight with Satan. Now that you have learned to embrace discomfort and thrive in misery, you no longer need to rely solely on your intelligence and strength. Why? because talent and ability doesn't matter as much as prayer or positive self-talk and persistence. It may very well be that you aren't great at what you do, at least not yet. But if you keep showing up day after day, keep asking God or universe for help and guidance and protection from Shaitan, and if you keep grinding despite everything, something mysterious and magical will start to happen. The process sets itself in motion. The universe takes notice, and the angels, when we dedicate ourselves fully to the work. Serendipity, that is lucky breaks, begin to reinforce our purpose. Unforeseen things start concentrating around us, like the forces starts gathering around us, and the angels take note of our dedication and they approve. Now when we sit down and work, we become like a magnetic rod drawing ideas and insights and opportunities to us. We attract inspiration and momentum needed to transcend resistance. Just as darkness has its seat in fear and distraction, creation has its home in discipline and effort.